Welcome family. In this video, we are going to look at question 3 for Biology paper 2 for the year 2023. The question reads, figure 3 shows part of the respiratory organs of a bonefish. Now, before we look at the questions, first let's share one or two about respiration. Now, we'll first begin with the system. So the system is respiratory system that is responsible for the process of respiration. So we have respiratory system. Then this system, we are saying it is responsible for the process of respiration. Now, what do we call the organs that are responsible, that are found in respiratory system? These organs are known as respiratory organs. So if you look at an organ, each organ has a specific role, and also it has a specific system in which it is found. If you look at the digestive system, there are digestive organs that are found in digestive system that are responsible for the process of digestion. If you look at reproductive, if you look at we have nervous system, there are so many systems that we have. Now, away from the respiratory organs, we also have to look at now the key for this question here is all about respiration. Now, respiration is not just about the diffusion of gases, no? Respiration is deeper than that because it has to do with the release of energy. Now, release of energy from where? From the food that we eat. If you look at the importance of glucose, glucose gives us the energy. Now, why do we need energy? According to science, we define energy as the ability to do work. So almost all the time, work is done. The cells that we have, they do work. So for the cells to do work, energy must be there. So the energy that the cells uses to do the work comes from the glucose, and for glucose to produce that energy, there should be respiration. So the importance, one of the importances of respiration is about the production of what? Energy, because we need that energy for us to do work and for us to have life. Now, if we look at gaseous exchange, as we can see the word exchange, so there should be gases that should exchange. If one leaves, the other one must enter. So the gaseous exchange is all about oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now, the oxygen is considered to be a requirement. It's needed in the body. Then for carbon dioxide is considered as the waste product. So if the oxygen is a requirement or a nutrient, it has to enter. Then the carbon dioxide must leave the respiratory system or organs. So that exchange where one gas enters and the other one leaves is what we call the gaseous exchange. And gaseous exchange can be defined as diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide across a respiratory surface. So we have introduced another term, respiratory surface. Now, what is a respiratory surface? What is this? What is meant by this? So a respiratory surface can just be defined as a part of a respiratory organ through which a gaseous exchange takes place. Now, for a bonefish like this one, there should be respiratory organ, and these respiratory organs must have the respiratory surface where the actual gaseous exchange occurs. Now, there are several respiratory organs that are found in a bonefish, one of which we have a gill. And please never confuse a gill bar to be an organ. A gill bar, gill filament, gill rack, these are just parts that are found in an organ known as a gill. So please make sure you understand that. Now, let's look at the, let's say take a fish out of water. Why do fish die whenever it is taken out of water? So what happens? Is it because there is no oxygen in air? No, we know that there is, and there is a greater percentage of oxygen in air compared in water. Now, what happens? So what happens according to science is that the reason why fish cannot survive out of water is because the gills are supported by water. So whenever the fish is taken out of water, the gills will collapse, and after that collapsing of the gills, then the respiration will not take place. And you know that without respiration we are not going to have energy, and without energy the cells will not do their work. So that's what we can look at there. Then the other thing that we can compare is, we know that for respiration in fish to take place, water must enter the fish. So the diffusion of these gases, if this is water, then we'll say this is a fish here. So the diffusion is that whenever water passes through the fish, the oxygen must diffuse into the bloodstream of the fish, while the carbon dioxide must diffuse out of the fish. So this process is what we earlier looked at, which is a gaseous exchange. So that's the point. Now, if you look at water and air, you'd find that the density of water is greater than the density of air. So diffusion in water is much slower than diffusion of oxygen in air. So that's a difference that we can compare between the fish and a human being. So under a human being, the diffusion is much faster. Why? Because the density of air is lower than the density of a human being. Now, since we've looked at these points, let's look at the questions that we have here. So the first part here is, the first question is identify structures labeled Z. So this part is known as a gill filament. So we have gill filament here. Then Roman number 2, explain how structures labeled Z are suitable for their function. This question is same as we want to look at the adaptations. What features does the structure Z has that makes it to carry its process? Now, what process occurs in structure Z or in gill filament? This is where the process of gaseous exchange occurs. Now, what make this process to be possible is what we are trying to look at here. So there should be some features that helps the gases to exchange. So the first one, the way gill filaments are, they are folded, and because they are folded, there is an increase in the large surface area for diffusion of gases. So that's what we are going to say. So we'll say they are folded to increase the large surface area for absorption. So for absorption. Then the second one, presence of lamella, gill lamella for gaseous exchange also. And if you look at the adaptations or the features that are there are so many. Sometimes you can also look at the blood vessels. These gill filament or gills in general are supplied with a lot of blood capillaries to increase the large surface area for gaseous exchange. So you can also give information like this one. Now we move on to Roman number 3. Name 2 other respiratory organs in fish other than the one shown in figure 3. Now please, what I want to put an emphasis here is that if you look at this gill, a gill has, like we have gill filament, we have a gill bar, we have a gill arc and a gilrac. Please, these are not organs. They are the structures. They are parts of the organ. So the organ is the what? The gill. So the gill is an organ which contains these structures such as gill bar, gilrac, gill filament. Please never confuse this. Now, if these are not other organs, which other organs are found in the fish? The first one, we have the mouth. So this is our first party that we can look at here. Then the second one, we can also give operculum. Operculum is an organ. Then for the second one, we are told to describe the role played by each of the respiratory organs identified in A1, in A2. And for questions like this, before you answer, make sure that whatever that you are answering, you have the point to defend your answer. So what is the importance of a mouth? So we know that for diffusion of gases to occur, water must enter. So the mouth is just the passage of water that contains the dissolved oxygen that will diffuse into the gill filament. So that is the importance of that. So we'll say this is the passage of water which contains dissolved oxygen. Which would diffuse into the gill filament. Then for the second one, we went with operculum. So operculum is also an organ, and in connection with respiration, there is a role that it does. So the first one, we can say they cover the gill. They cover and protect the gills. So they cover and protect the gills. Then by this they provide two ventilators. So this is what we can say. There is a lot, but we can say this. So that is the point. Then for the last question, question C, which respiratory organ in humans plays the same role as structure Z in a bonefish? We have the lungs. Now, if you look at the structure Z is a gill filament. So the lungs, or we can say air sac / alveoli, depends with the word that you are using here. Okay, so this is how we can at least share. And as you are studying, please never start to memorize stuff or never try to answer exactly the way you read them in books. So what you just have to do is, as you are studying, start to know. Then you can use your own language as long as the key points are there. Then the other thing is, stop this favoritism of topics. Whenever you are studying, please never choose your own topics to study. That is the reason why this question to some people seemed to be difficult. Why? No one never thought of studying over this. People think questions about gills will never come in exams. Please never choose your own topic. So the best way that you can do is, you have to study everything. Just find ways of summarizing it, but whenever you are studying, please never choose your own topics. The examiner will not look at you. It's not about you. They will just prepare, or whatever that they have prepared is there. So because if you are choosing the topics that to study, even simple things, as long as you never studied that, it will appear to you as a very difficult thing. So let's hope we have shared the one or two. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.